Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday, March the 24th, and our second week of quarantine. I hope you and your family are managing to get along and not kill each other during this tight quarters that we're all sharing. My family's doing pretty well. Each person is retreating to their own corners to work, so we're making it work. So let's get straight to the PowerPoint here. I do want to ask you to please watch this video all the way through. We're going to talk about the multi-genre research project, which is your final project for the semester. So I want to make sure you get all the information that you need and don't have any questions on this important project. So let's get to the PowerPoint. If we can make it go and present. There it goes. Okay, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about first. The reading reflections. So there were quite a number of you, about 40%, who actually did not turn that reading reflection in. So I was just wondering if maybe this assignment was something that you felt was a waste of time or busy work or tedious or didn't accurately reflect your understanding of the readings. So I created a survey in SurveyMonkey for you to just let me know your thoughts about this assignment and maybe why you chose not to turn it in. It's completely anonymous. You won't tell me who you are. There's no way for me to know who you are. Just tell me about the reading reflections, and then maybe if you have other ideas of a way that you think would be good to talk to students about what they're reading and sort of number one, make sure that they are reading, and number two, have a thoughtful discussion about the readings without spending too much time in class, because that also takes up time. And in the past, I've had criticism for, what's the point of reading if we're just going to go over the reading ad nauseum in class? So it's hard for me to know what's the right balance. So I would really appreciate your thoughts on that. In light of that poor showing of that assignment, reading reflection number 4 is actually canceled. So I am not going to have you do a fourth reading reflection. We'll just take the 3 that you already turned in, and that's the end of that. So that assignment is canceled. Also, just as a reminder that next week is spring break. We will not have any kind of online class or any assignments due at all next week, and then we'll reconvene on April the 7th. So after Thursday, you'll get an agenda on this coming Thursday, and then you won't hear from me again until the Tuesday, the April the 7th. All right, so today's free write. So this also comes from Nelson. I'd like for you to look back over your life for significant memories or images that sustain you, things that when you're feeling sad or worried, that just kind of rush into your mind and make you feel good. Maybe it's that time your mother hugged you, or the time your little brother said, "I love you more than anyone," or the time your teacher called you her best student. So choose one of these images, whatever first one comes into your mind, and write about it. And then as you write, just let more images grow. And you can write a poem, you can write a reflection, you can do this in whatever way feels right to you. So once you finish that, post that as free write March the 24th and put it in your student folder. You can just take a picture. Okay, next up is Tech Talk. So today we have Carmen, Charlie, and Amanda. They have a Tech Talk, and then Phoebe has a Tech Talk. So you'll find those in the Tech Talk folder on the Google Drive site. Go in, have a look at those, read through, try out the tools that they recommend, and then write one comment about one of the tools on the Tech Talk doc. It's dated March the 23rd. Oops, it should say the 24th. Sorry about that. That's a typo in the PowerPoint. I'm pretty sure it does say Tech Talk March the 24th. Today, the day I'm recording this video, is the 23rd, so I got a little confused there. But anyway, look for that doc, write your comment, and let us know what you think. All right, now we do want to talk about the multi-genre research project. So I had you read a little bit about this earlier in the semester. This idea comes from Tom Romano. It's an amazing, amazing project, and students always love doing it. It produces such high quality work. The work is so much better than having them write a research paper. And I just want you to consider maybe using something like this with your own students instead of asking them to do a boring formulaic paper that just doesn't take any creativity. So the multi-genre research project does excite students more. I have personal anecdotal evidence related to this. My students always report how much they love this project. Students have more choice with this. They can choose not only what to read and how to read it, but how to present what they read. So it becomes less about you telling them what to do and dictating to them, and more about them choosing it. It allows students to blend their content knowledge with creative writing. So they do need to present some facts from the material, but they also can write creatively about it. So this combination is really powerful to them. It does produce writing that's more thoughtful, and it's certainly a lot more fun to grade. They're actually really a joy to grade. They're interesting, they're creative, and I always learn so much, and it's a whole lot better than a big stack of research papers. And then lastly, the multi-genre research projects do require critical thinking and problem solving, because you can't just regurgitate facts. You actually have to do something with it. So it really reaches the highest level of Bloom's on the Bloom's pyramid. So what exactly is a multi-genre research project? Well, it's where students research a specific topic or a subject or a person, and then they write a variety of artifacts based on that research. And the artifacts are things like a book review, an interview, maybe they do a comic strip, maybe they write a poem, maybe if their person is someone who died, they make up an obituary, what maybe the obituary for that person would have been like. If they married an important person in their life, maybe they produce the marriage certificate. So it can be anything that they want it to be, as long as they provide a complete picture of the topic or the subject or the person. And I'm going to show you some examples so you'll see what I mean. So the students take these artifacts, they collect them all into one project so that the reader has a complete understanding of the subject. All right, so here's some examples. And this picture actually is from a student of mine who decided to do her project on the Salem witch trials. And so she presented this in a witch's hat. And this was not a digital project, but all of the artifacts were scrolls that were rolled up into little pieces of paper and stuck inside the witch's hat. So adorable, right? Sorry, can you hear my dog snoring? My dog is snoring so hard right now. Okay, so here's some examples for you. And this is hyperlinked on the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is posted for you so you can have a look at these at your leisure. So here's some literature-based multi-genre papers. Some field experiences from pre-service teachers. And anyway, you can look through all of these. But one that I was looking at earlier and I thought was kind of interesting. This is through Lori Halsey Anderson's book, Speak. So she read the book Speak and she wanted to present a complete picture of the novel. So the first thing she has in there is a Dear Reader letter where she talks about the characters and the book itself. And then she has her artifacts. So one of the artifacts is a poem that she wrote. And then another reflection about insomnia. And then a letter to a teacher. A letter to Dear Abby. I don't know if you know who Dear Abby is, but she's an advice columnist. Another poem, and a reflection poem there. There's some information about rape, a recipe for Martha, and some more information there. 10 lies a rapist will tell you, a Valentine, a little dialogue, bathroom graffiti, and so on. So she has a lot of artifacts in here. She chose to include a lot of different ones. And then she gives a little explanation about each of the artifacts on her note page, talking about what they are, what they mean, why she chose to include them. At the end is a bibliography. And then she did a self-assessment, how she thinks she should be scored on this, answering some questions. So this is really sort of a reflection letter. So there's lots of these in there, and you're welcome to go through and look at all of them. On Thursday, I'm going to actually show you one from one of my students that I think is particularly good, so you can have a look at that too. All right, so now, hello, there we go. Is it going to go? There it goes. Okay, so now what do you include typically in a multi-genre research project? Well, you might include a proposal. So you would have your students write a proposal and talk about who they want to do and what they want to do, so you can gauge whether it's appropriate or not. A Dear Reader letter, a table of contents, maybe 5 to 6 pieces in different genres, and a bibliography. And usually I like to include a reflection at the end of that. So now here is the directions for your multi-genre research project. So here they are. This hyperlinks to the assignment. It is on the Google Drive site under assignments. It's labeled multi-genre research project. It is due by April the 23rd at 11 a.m. So this will be the last thing that I ask you to do for this course. And when we get back from spring break, we have very little that we will try to cover. I want you to just spend your time on this project, so I will not give you any other assignments. So let's just go quickly through these directions. I want you to choose a person in your primary content area to research. So if you're a social studies teacher, maybe a historic figure, math, an important mathematician, and so on. Then read an autobiography or a biography on that person. Conduct additional research, and then compose a minimum of 5 artifacts connected to your researched person. So choose them carefully so that they show all sides of the person. And then lastly, you'll have a bibliography in APA format with 4 research sources, and then a Dear Reader letter at the beginning of the project. At the end of the project, you'll have a self-reflection letter. So here's what you'll include. Number 1, you'll have a title page, then your Dear Reader letter, your artifacts, your bibliography, and then your self-reflection letter. And these are the questions that I want you to answer in the self-reflection letter, okay? And you'll upload this no later than 11 a.m., not 11 p.m., 11 a.m. on April the 23rd. So here's some ideas, and you'll need to include at least one from each category. So informational things, you could write a news article, a magazine article, a police report, an obituary, any of these, one of these. Something literary or creative, like a TV script or a poem or a comic book or an editorial cartoon. One of those, and then something functional like a diary entry or an email exchange or a letter to the editor. So you have to have 5 artifacts total, so you'll include at least one of each of these, and then a couple of them you'll double up on. So I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. For this coming Thursday, just work on that multi-genre research project. And we have Tech Talks coming from Maddie. Oops, sorry. From Maddie and Matt, and then Emmy, Sydney, and Abby. So have a great rest of your day. And let me know if you have questions about this project. Put your questions on the Multi-Genre Research Project questions doc. Bye.